We all remember that. A similar scenario could play out in 2012 in Pennsylvania if Republicans there get their way. According to a report in Mother Jones, legislators in PA want to change the way that the state awards electoral votes from winner take all to a system where the candidate who gets the most votes would only get as few as 3 electorates. Joined now by former Democratic Congressman Joe Sestak of Pennsylvania. He also ran for statewide office as a Senate candidate in 2010. Joe, first of all, what's the motivation here?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. This is a group of legislators who now are of one party, as well as the governor, and they want to lock in up to 2/3 of the electoral vote for one party. What a fundamental shift away from one man, one vote. I think when you begin to recognize what this also does to Pennsylvania, where it was a battleground state, where John McCain would be in there, and then soon-to-be President Obama. No more, because we'll only have, instead of 20 electoral votes, maybe 2 or 3. We'll be equivalent to Maine. I think when the voters begin to recognize this, they really are going to be outraged. It's not a story that's broken big time yet. Boy, I'll tell you, this is an offense to democracy.
Is it even constitutional? Has there been talk yet about whether the proposal passes constitutional muster?
You know, it's legally and ethically possible to do, but it's against all the standards of one man, one vote. Look, Dominic Pileggi, the majority leader, was one of the group of legislators about 8 years ago that in the middle of the night passed a pay raise for themselves, for their self-interest. When it was found out a few days later by Pennsylvania voters, they threw most of them out. I think when they recognize that no longer will the Keystone State be a key to the future in helping to elect a president of the United States, you're going to see a similar outrage come, because it's the only legal way that you could turn this about if these legislators with Tom Corbett, a Republican governor, decide to do this.
But this is already something that's done. You mentioned Maine. It's also done in Nebraska. It's been considered by a handful of other states. I mean, would it really be the end of democracy as we know it in the Keystone State, or is it really not that bad?
It would be the end of one vote, because those other states that have it, and there's only 2, as you know, they're such small populations. It has no impact. But here in Pennsylvania, a large populous state, no longer will it have any influence. When you lock in the system and decide your vote won't matter. But there's another message here, Craig, and I think Democrats should take this on board especially, but so should all U.S. citizens, that if you don't come out to vote, like many didn't the last elections, someone else is going to be in that election booth pulling the lever for you, like Dominic Pileggi and Tom Corbett are doing today. That's the offense. We were founded on a principle: one man, one vote.
Joe Sestak.
And now quietly in the night again, they're trying to change
Joe,
it.
you sound like you might be running for something again. You've got that candidate sound to you here. Do you care to make an announcement while we've got you?
You know, it's interesting. My father came over from Czechoslovakia, an immigrant, grew up in Pennsylvania, and to watch a power of this one party where when they were in the minority, they actually had enough votes to be irresponsible, to say no to anything that the governor was trying to do. Now that they're in the majority, to actually say, we don't care what the populace votes, I'm outraged. 31 years in the U.S. military and defending the right to vote, and now they're taking it away.
Joe, thank you. Appreciate your
time this afternoon.
Thanks for having me. Discovery during the search for a missing youth.